Hi girlfriends, Lily Collins here. I am so excited to be on your August cover. It's an absolute honor. I hope you enjoy the issue and be sure to check out my new movie, Mortal Instruments: City of Bones. Thanks.
Are there any similarities between you and your character?
I like to think that I'm a loyal friend, and Clary's very loyal, determined, not afraid of being in situations where you can fail. I think that's really important, and that's something that I share with her. And also, I'm really close with my mom, so that whole journey that she goes on, I'd love to think that I would, do the same.
So on set, were there any pranks pulled, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh. I think it was more everyone just told jokes all the time because we would get a bit delirious. We're shooting all hours of the day, and when we're doing these big fight sequences, we're just beyond exhausted, and we'd all just start like making voices and telling jokes at the most intense moments in shooting, so that right before they'd yell action, we'd be just completely breaking down laughing, and then our director would yell action. We'd have to run out of the door like not laughing, and it made it that much more fun because now I can watch the movie back and go, oh, we were just burst out laughing before that fight sequence, and yeah, it was just more about like the jokes and stuff.
So, have you had a chance to see the film yet?
I have. I'm very, very happy. I'm really proud of it. It's a movie that I love. Like I said, I love the books. I love Clary. So for me, the experience of being able to play Clary and live in that world for a little while was so amazing that it would beat any box office numbers. And so the experience was worth way more to me. But after having seen the project, it's so great to see the fun that we had and the work that we put into it translated onto screen. And I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
Why should people go and see the film for people that, aren't familiar with the books?
Yeah, I think, for me, going to see it yesterday, I was really impressed with the fact that it has it's completely multi-layered. It has this element of comedy to it, it doesn't take itself too seriously, but then also it's like a white knuckle ride. There's the action, there's the love story. It's dark, it's broody, it has a really strong female lead, we follow Clary's story and we see the world through her eyes.
Yeah.
And I think that's really empowering and necessary. I guess it's not trying to be anything different than what it is. It's not trying to be any movie that we've seen before. It's very much the Mortal Instruments: City of Bones as a standalone piece of art, and I think we were all really aware that that's what we had to make when we were shooting it.
For me, I saw the movie about 3 weeks ago, and I sat down, and it was over before I knew it. And for me, that's a sign of a really good movie. I think you sort of get sucked into this film, and it's this world that you've never seen before. I think it's, aside from me, very well acted. And I think it's a ride. I think people, I go to the movies to escape my life for a couple of hours, and that's exactly what this movie did for me.
Yeah. Did you feel any pressure going into it, or once you realised that the role was yours, because the fans of the books are so...
Yeah, I think I kind of dealt with this with Mirror Mirror and playing Snow White, a character that internationally has been loved for centuries. Playing a character like that, I kind of have to remove myself a bit from the anticipation because I was a fan of the books as well. So there is, expectations that I would have of an actor playing that character. So I understand from the fan's perspective, but at the same time, being able to remove myself and go, okay, there are elements of myself that I want to insert here, and any actor would take liberties, but also pay honor to what Cassandra wrote. So it's more an exciting kind of task, but you don't even really have to look for people's opinions anymore. People just come up to me and say things, so it's like I kind of just have to go with the flow and just, it is what it is.
Yeah. Can I just ask about your character?
Yes.
Can you tell me what you love the most? One thing you love the most about your character?
I like that he's enigmatic. I like that you can't really figure out who he is.
Yeah.
I like characters like that. I don't like people who you can sort of go like, oh, he's the nice one who's gonna save everyone's ass, and he's gonna fall in love with that guy. You sort of have this very. I like that he makes people a little uneasy.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite scene? Because my favorite was when you opened the door on Jason Clary.
Yeah, that one was good because I really enjoy the stuff when we just get to play around and do the acting, because obviously there's a thread, there's an arc, the characters going through this, but there's also a lot of stuff where, you know, you had to just be involved in the action, and that stuff's difficult because, it's very much it's a slow and well thought out process, and it takes many days, and so kind of on a minute to minute basis, you're just kind of stood there looking aware and hoping that you don't look like a sore thumb. But yeah, no, the acting stuff I do quite enjoy. So yeah, that was a fun one to do. I liked all the stuff with me, Lily, and Jamie, where there's a little bit of frisson between myself and Jace's character. I liked all that stuff because, you know, I really got to exercise my sardonic muscles in that one.
No, very good. Having watched the movie, I'm torn between Jace and Simon.
Yeah.
But if you were watching it, having not, you know, played Clary, who do you think you would?
I don't know, it's a tough call, you know, because Simon is the best friend and there's so much history there, but then Jace is this new guy, and I think I'd be like Clary in the sense that it's kind of, you're somewhat torn because your loyalties lie with someone that you've known your whole life, and you don't want to lose that, but at the same time there's this new intriguing thing, and obviously in this movie you find out something important about Clary and Jace, which again in the third book you find out is not true. So it's kind of figuring out how you play with and toy with that idea and don't alienate an audience and they go, ew. But at the same time going like, hello, you ignored the biggest part of the movie. So I don't know. I think, you know, there are pros and cons to both guys. I think it's great. It's kind of like Twilight where people are, you know, a bit torn as well. And I think that there's something for everyone in those two guys.
Yeah, no, definitely. I can't decide, so yeah, we'll leave it.
I know, it's hard. It's definitely hard. Wait till the sequel, maybe you'll be a little bit more like decisive about someone. Yeah.
Your character Simon is clearly in love with his best friend. What advice do you have for people watching that might be in a similar situation?
Just get up there and proclaim your love, because, to be honest, it'll be better for you in the long run.
Do you have a favourite scene?
My favourite scene for me is the greenhouse scene. It's the scene where Jace opens up to Clary and lays all his cards out on the table. And it's an important scene for the character development. That's my favourite scene.
Yeah, it sucks that you guys are related.
Yeah, bit of a bummer
Spoiler
there.
alert.
It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird one. You know, we'll come back to that in movie 2.
You know, are you friends with the cast? Like, do you guys hang out?
Yeah, we
shooting?
do.
Yeah?
It was amazing, especially in Toronto. Kevin Zegers is from Toronto, but none of us had really spent that long there before, so it was great to have him as a tour guide, and all of us went out and hung out after filming, during filming. And since then, like, certain people live in LA, some in Europe, and we've all kind of been able to still keep in touch and hang out. It's really great.
If you could use one rune in real life, what would it be?
I like the Fearless rune, because there are certain things that I would love to do, like skydive, and I'm terrified of sharks, but like swim with sharks. And I think that with that extra bit of push, you know, I think I'd probably be more apt to doing it.
The fighting scenes, loved those.
Thanks.
Was that you?
That was me, yeah.
Nice.
I did. There was only one stunt that I didn't do, is when Madame Dorothea smacks Jace across the face and he rolls backwards over the table. I wasn't allowed to do that, but everything else is me.
Nice, well done.
Thank you very much.
Even in the leather?
Even in the leather. Leather's a great material. People aren't, they don't know about this. Leather stretches with
that's
time.
true.
With
so you were
time.
in that
well,
for a
we
while.
had like lots, I lived in it basically.
No, it was cool. I liked the outfits. It's kind of, maybe it would start a new trend. Maybe Shadow Hunter.
Shadow Hunter vibes.
chic
I
or
don't know if it
something
would
like-
work in Los Angeles. It's pretty hot over here.
No,
you know?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
but
that's
and
true.
even in Australia as well. You know, that's going to be pretty warm. You know, you don't want to be
Yeah.
sitting out on Bondi in a full leather outfit.
Yeah, no, it's not ideal.
No.
Not ideal, but perfect for the movie. The fighting scenes, is that all you?
Yep. There were
No
no.
stunt doubles?
Nope.
Nice.
Harold was not gonna have any of that because he's like, I don't want to have to cut away from faces. I don't want to. You know, I can always tell too. You watch action movies, and you see some guy doing like 3 backflips, and then they're like cut to a close-up of him going like, huh. It's like clearly that wasn't you. He weighed like 30 pounds less than you. It's like, no, and it was fun. And I think the thing you realize about the fighting stuff is that everyone fights differently. Where I grew up, unfortunately, is a place where fighting was not uncommon.
Yeah.
So, I fight differently than Jamie fights. Jamie's much taller and lankier, and Jamie's much the way he moves is very different from the way that I move. And so the fight coordinator really catered the way that we fought towards our specific strengths.
Yeah.
And so it was nice because I felt like I was actually fighting.
Yeah. I have to ask as well, are you excited or maybe nervous for the fans of the book to see the movie?
I've connected with a few of them over the past few weeks. I've done signings and stuff in London and in Barcelona and all these crazy places. And their reaction has been thus far that they're really pumped to see it. They're so stoked to be able to go and see this film. You know, it's their favorite characters.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited, and of course I'm a bit nervous to share it with them. I mean, they love this.
Yeah.
But hopefully we've done a good job. I hope they like it.
Have you had any crazy fan experiences since being cast?
I was in Dublin a couple of days ago. I've been shooting there for 2.5 months, and I was at a concert in the middle of a park, and this group of girls came up to me bawling their eyes out, and one girl was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Lily." They go, "No, Clary Frey." And then someone yelled, "August 21st." And I was like so out of my element that I was like, "What's happening August 21st?" They're like, "The movie." So it's the passion is definitely there, and it's an amazing thing to see. It is out of this world though, and that's only like 5 girls that I was talking about. So we'll see. I don't know.
No, I haven't had any mad fan experiences. When we were filming, there were lovely fans that were showing up during the day, coming from all over the place. From the far reaches of Canada, from America. We had a few from like France. It was all over the place.
Yeah.
And they'd all come to see the filming and stuff, and they were all quite wily. They could figure out where we were. We were on a street one day, just in a quiet kind of a neighborhood area, and loads of fans showed up, and I was going, how do they know where we are? Are they paying do they have a mole on the inside?
Have you started filming the second?
No, we haven't. We're on tour for this for like the next 6 weeks, and then I think we're beginning in like September.
Any plans to head to Australia for the?
I don't know. I just go where I'm told.
Yeah?
I go where I'm told. But I am of Australian descent. I have an Australian passport.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Have you spent much time there?
No.
Okay.
And if you're watching Australia, I am coming. Just give me time.
That's awesome.
It's a long flight from London.
I also have to ask, being on the cover of our latest issue of Girlfriend magazine, what is that like for you to see yourself in print or, in magazines, on covers of magazines? Is that weird
It
at
is
all?
very weird. It's very cool. I grew up, I just loved fashion when I was growing up. I wanted to be a designer. I wrote for magazines. So that's a whole world in which I always was just so involved in. So to be on magazine covers and to be able to wear these clothes, and to me it's like any girl's dream, and it's so amazing. It's really, really cool. And to be in internationally, magazines that I wouldn't have even thought would know me or whatever. It's super cool to be on.
Please don't take this the wrong way, but at Girlfriend, we are obsessed with your eyebrows.
Brows. Thank you.
You knew it was coming.
There's a Twitter account. Someone has made a Twitter account for them as well. I think it's so funny.
They're amazing. But I
Thank you.
have to ask, are they high maintenance? Do you have an eyebrow lady? What's the deal?
I've only gone to one person since I started getting them done when I was, I don't even know, probably like 12, 13 or something.
Yeah.
But I haven't really had time to do that recently. I've been shooting so much that I take care of them myself. Very minimal. I think less is more, and I've kind of just, they are what they are, and for some reason they've started to define me. But it's less is more. I think the less you do, the less there is to upkeep.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.